Paul, Christ's wise master builder. Paul has addressed that the Corinthians were still babes in Christ instead of students of the word through Paul's teaching, understanding the hidden mystery, wisdom of God. In our last reading, Paul addressed that the Corinthians were man followers and pointing to some of the men that they followed. Now Paul addresses the other folks that had been fishing in his pond. Paul will, in 1 Corinthians 4 verse 15, state the key point. For though ye have 10,000 instructors in Christ, yet have ye not many fathers. For in Christ Jesus I have begotten you through the gospel. But today he addresses the master builder's insight into the issue at hand. According to the grace of God, which is given unto me, as a wise master builder, I have laid the foundation, and another buildeth thereon. But let every man take heed how he buildeth thereupon. For other foundation can no man lay than that is laid, which is Jesus Christ. 1 Corinthians 3 verses 10 to 11. A short reading, but a lot of meat on this bone. Paul begins by making a statement that most miss, namely that what he has worked to build and what he is about to share is according to the grace of God which is given unto me. And this is not just as one more apostle, as in the 12, but as the apostle to the Gentiles as elsewhere stated, whereunto I am ordained a preacher and an apostle. I speak the truth in Christ and lie not. A teacher of the Gentiles in faith and verity. 1 Timothy 2 verse 7. In fact, as here at Corinth, everywhere Paul had ministered, he found himself having to defend what the risen and glorified Christ had called him to be and instructed him to do and teach. He was not a man called as an apostle to the Gentiles. He was the man called to be the apostle to the Gentiles, a calling that many miss. Paul describes his calling and office as one who, according to the grace of God, was building as a wise master builder and noted that I have laid the foundation. And no other could lay the foundation, as Paul's calling and message were foundational. His work was not a continuation of the work of the 12 Jewish apostles, but something completely different, as the Acts 15 Jerusalem Council, with Paul's Galatian 2 commentary, bears out. So, when Paul says he laid the foundation, it was with Christ's instruction to do so, doctrinally. And now Paul notes that another buildeth thereon, a reference to Apollos, possibly and apparently Peter, per 1 Corinthians 1:12, although given the Acts 15 Jerusalem accord that should not have been, and possibly others within the Corinthian fellowship. And thus Paul instructs, but let every man take heed how he buildeth thereupon. For in building one must consider the foundation, and Paul laid the foundation. And Paul's description of the foundation that he laid is, for other foundation can no man lay than that is laid, which is Jesus Christ. And this should be carefully considered, in light of Paul's recent teaching to this point, namely, the wisdom of God in a mystery. Even the hidden wisdom, which God ordained before the world unto our glory, it is according to this hidden mystery, wisdom of God, that Jesus Christ had been preached to the Corinthians and the rest of us as well, if we study. This was their doctrinal foundation. And make no mistake that the foundation, which is Jesus Christ, speaks to mystery doctrine pertaining to Jesus Christ, which he revealed to Paul for this dispensation of the grace of God. So, the foundational doctrine laid, which is Jesus Christ, is the power to establish you according to my gospel, and the preaching of Jesus Christ according to the revelation of the mystery, which was kept secret since the world began. Romans 16 verse 25. And one should never tamper with the foundation of anything, or the structure thereon will not stand. Believer, know your doctrinal foundation in Christ, and take care how you buildeth thereon.